It's been a little while, hasn't it? When did I do this video? 18th of May. June, July, August, September. 5 months, almost 5 months. Well, it probably is close to 5 months by the time this video comes out. I just want to step in and say it's actually December now, not October or whatever it was. Anyway, carry on. I am very sorry. But don't worry, everything is here, ready to finish it. I think the first thing I do is get this bed built in a minute. I laid some satin black down on the base. It was like a plastic wood effect. I didn't really like it. I didn't think I could do it justice by trying to make it look even more like wood. So satin black on there. This is all the wood that's going to go on there. And I've stained it with actual coffee. And I'll be honest with you, I love coffee. That does not smell great. Anyway, bed's done. This is where we got to on the first build video. We got the chassis rolling, everything under there. If this is the first time you've heard about the coffee truck, it's a King Kong CA30 6x6. This build has been entirely funded by you. Not all of you, but 220 of you, I think. Completely funded by the Buy Me a Coffee link. Everything to do with this build has been bought with all the money that has been sent via that Buy Me a Coffee link, and there's still time to support it. One of the supporters, currently there's 220, I think. One of them is gonna get this truck. My first idea was to build it from the support from that Buy Me a Coffee, then raffle it off and then give the money to charity and send this to the raffle winner. The problem with raffles is, especially in the UK, there's lots and lots of rules. There's lots of legal stuff with it as well. So I'm not going to do that. It's going to make it more complicated. It's really difficult to do giveaways, especially in the UK. I don't know what it's like anywhere else. Once the video's finished, I think I'm going to leave it. I might leave it 2 or 3 weeks just for the video to, because usually videos go up like that and then they sort of settle right down. So once the video's settled right down, I'm then going to put a cut off on the Buy Me a Coffee. So anyone before that point that's supported the build, all your names will be taken and then I'll pick one at random. Doesn't matter where you live, one person will get this truck. I'm not taking any profit from this. All the money that's gone into it is going towards the build. Any money left over, because I expect if more people support this, I'll have some money left over. It's all going to charity. No profit for me. Someone will get this truck and the rest is going to charity. And that is enough about that. So if you want to support the build, there is a link in the description where you can support it. The only way to win this is to support the build. That's the only fair way to do it, right? So one of the things I've been waiting for was I've got a Crawl Master from Holmes Hobby. 25 kilo cheap servo. Hobbywing 1080 ESC, probably the best ESCs you can get for brushed stuff. And the only other thing we need to decide on is paint. We will do that in a minute, but first I need to build this thing. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time. My word, that took a very long time, but I got it done and it looks awesome. It looks really good. Quite fiddly actually, not all the holes line up perfectly. But I got there. I made a few mistakes. I might have had to take a load of them off and flip stuff around, but I got it done. I wanted to get all the electronics in and then start prepping the body today, but that's not going to happen. I'm going to do the school run now, so this will wait till tomorrow. Right, so now the bed's mostly finished. I think I've got to add some lights to it and maybe some little hooks for the tailgate. Let's crack on with the chassis. So I got the fuel tanks to mount. I don't know where they go there. Just put the motor on the gearbox. Hopefully this won't drag on as long as the rear bed did. I think we have a problem. This is the second truck this has happened to. So 550 motor mounted up like that. We're not going to be able to fit the servo in. Oh, why won't stuff take 550s? I didn't want to get a 540 in there. I wanted a nice 550. Well, that was a right pain. Managed to find a 5-slot Reedy crawler motor. Pretty good actually, that. That's out of my trail runner. But still, look how tight it is, and that's a 540. So I had to desolder them, pull that right back, Put some insulation around the case of the servo. So tight in there. Servo's on and hooked up. So all we've got left to do on the chassis is just put the tanks on, and that's that done. Then we need to get this body painted. I need to go and get some paint. Bed sits on like that, fits nicely. Talking of the bed, there's another predicament. There's meant to be like a tray, like a case in there. Tells you to fit that in. And I think that's where the battery goes. I've searched everywhere. I can't find it. I don't even remember seeing it. I had to buy this all separate, so the chassis kit was separate, the bed I bought separate, and the body I bought separate. I'm wondering if it doesn't actually come with the bed. It comes with like part of the whole kit if you buy the whole kit. I'm not panicking because I've 3D printed one very similar to that for my WPL. So all I'll do is I'll just measure it, I'll scale it up, and I'll print one for there. Because I'm not sure where the battery's going to go if it doesn't go in there. Speed controller and receiver I'll fit in the body somewhere. Right, anyway, I'm going to finish this off and then we're going to go get some paint. Thought I better test it before I start painting the body and stuff. Let's make sure it works. Steering. Oh, there we go. It works. When I went to get the paint, I didn't really have any idea what colour I was going to do. I kind of had an idea I wanted to do maybe a brown or like a deep red, or I even thought about like a cream colour. Then once I got there and looked at all the paint, I was thinking about the colour of the bed with the darker wood on it. I thought like a nice burgundy, a burgundy deep red would look really good. So that's the colour we went for. So I've gone for this Vauxhall burgundy red. I think it's going to look nice. Obviously that's going to be the main body colour. Then I've got some stuff I'm going to do satin black. You can see there is a lot of parts to this. A lot of the interior parts are going to be satin black, but the main body colour is going to be this nice burgundy. And then my plan is to put a little logo on the doors, maybe a few other subtle bits and pieces around it. I think it's going to look good. So first job is to rough it all up and we'll lay down some primer.
Years later.
What can I say? This has been probably one of the most unenjoyable builds I've ever done. It's turned out really well. It just wasn't that enjoyable to build. There's bits and pieces that were missing. There were really fiddly bits. There was some stuff that it kind of doesn't tell you how to do it. And I just felt like it was dragging on and on and on and taking me forever. And I'd try and do just a little bit and end up taking me ages to do it. And the hobby is meant to be fun. So when it's not fun, it's like, oh, I just want to stop doing this. But I wanted to get it built. I had to get it built. Couldn't just leave it and say, oh, I'm not doing it anymore. I had to get it built. It's running. It's come out really well. But man, never again. It's turned out really nice, but it's certainly not been without its issues. And it has caused me a few hours of undue stress. It's a little bit over the top, but... So I bought it all separately. So it's got 3 sets of instructions. One for the body, one for the bed, and then one for the full kit. Now, them instructions tell you how to individually put all 3 bits together, but they don't tell you how it attaches to the chassis, which is relatively simple, but when there's no instructions, it causes me to scratch my head a bit. And then obviously there was the issue with the motor and the servo, but we got all that in the end. I love how these things lift up. And then there's a little magnet there, just to secure it down. Lots of stuff on there, really tight fit or just doesn't quite fit. I've left the windows out the doors because the doors, I had to take loads of material off the side there. I had to take loads of that off there just to try and get them to shut, and they're still quite stiff. Receivers in there with the on-off button. I put it all in there because it's easier to access that and really easy to switch on by just podging it like that. The ESC is tucked under the bed there. Getting that motor wide in was an absolute pain. That's what I've only just finished doing. I got these ones to neaten up under here. We'll tie them back so they're not hanging down like that. 3D printed the battery compartment. I left the top rails off of it, made it a nice tight push fit. So that was an issue as well, not having that battery compartment, even though it shows it in the pictures. On some of the pictures it shows like little chains and pins in there, or clips. None with this, so I'm going to have to probably go with some little body pins to put in there. And just in general, there was lots of fiddly bits that didn't really fit very well, some bits that completely didn't fit and I had to rejig, but it's finished. Apart from I've made a logo that I'm going to put on there. Got a few little bits and pieces to touch up. We've got working headlights. They were a pain as well to get them sorted. Also, we need a driver. We've got a driver though, don't you worry about that. Here she is. She's going to be the designated driver for this. So I'm going to fire my vinyl printer up, get that decal printed, touch up a few bits and pieces, and then we're going to take this for a test drive before one of you guys gets it.
So after many months, the coffee truck is finally finished. So we've got a driver in there now, we've got a couple of logos on the doors. We've even got some coffee bags in the back that have real coffee beans in them. And I also found some clips and some little chains for that rear door as well. I didn't go too crazy on this run. It was very muddy, very wet. I didn't want to get it too caked in mud and dirt and stuff before I end up shipping it out to whoever's going to be looking after this thing. And it goes really well. 6x6 performance is always really good. This is going to look awesome on the trail and it looks really capable as well. So massive thanks to all of those who have supported the build to this point. Remember, you can still support this build via the Buy Me a Coffee link. I'll leave that in the description. Although the build's already finished, like I said, any excess money, anything left over is going to charity. So you'll still be doing your bit and it will give you the opportunity to look after this thing and be the full-time carer. Thanks again to all those supporting it. Although it wasn't my most enjoyable build, it turned out alright in the end. Cheers for watching.